Today, we follow the story of Cedric Jennings, an African-American man who grew up in the ghettos of Washington, D.C. Jennings was raised in an apartment with his mother, while his father was in jail for drug use. Despite having a difficult home life and being surrounded by difficulties at school, Cedric managed to get into Brown University and carry on a successful life as a social worker for the District of Columbia.
Ron Suskind shows Cedric's journey in A Hope in the Unseen.
A Hope in the Unseen was published while Cedric was a junior at Brown, so it does not give a full synopsis of his life.
Here's Nick and Reed interviewing Cedric on his current day life.
Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Jennings, on this fine Sunday afternoon.
I'm happy to be here. Please come visit.
So Cedric, what was it like growing up in such a difficult neighborhood?
Well, Reed, it was pretty hard living in that neighborhood with a single mother and no father. My father was in jail, off probation because he was, a heroin addict, and my mom had trouble putting food on the table every night. And in school, I did pretty well in school, but every day I get criticized for doing well. At the end of every term, they used to give awards to people who made an honor roll. And at the auditorium, they used to give $100. So I remember times that I used to skip going to the auditorium to get my prize because I thought I'd be criticized or bullied of doing it in school. And it was a hard time for me. I was scared to go to lunch. I stayed in classrooms with my friends, well, a friend, and just talked about it.
Wow, that's crazy. How did you overcome these struggles to maintain that good student sort of persona?
Well, I had help from my science teacher, Mr. Taylor. He gave me really good advice, and he was one who actually gave a recommendation for me for MIT. And my mom gave me the drive to do good in school, to get out of the ghetto. And I was in a singing group in church, so that helped me too.
So what was it like when you were in the MIT summer program?
It was hard. It was a minority program, and it felt like everyone else had a better advantage than me. It felt like everyone was more prepared to take the courses because I took lower courses than everyone else, and I felt like I was slacking really. So I did not have a good experience with it.
So what was it like when you were kicked out of the MIT program?
Well, it was hard at first, but in the end I figured out that it was for the best because it gave me the opportunity to move from Brown, which was a better student school for me.
What was it like for you being a student of Brown?
Well, I improved socially and academically, I had more people like me in my own environment, so it wasn't like back in high school, everyone was different from me, and everyone hated on me. So
When you say different from me, are you talking about race, or are you talking about how well you want to do in school?
how well I wanted to do in school, because no one actually had the drive to do well in school. It was either sell crack or after you get out of high school, jail, basically.
So what did you do once you graduated Brown?
Well, I became a social worker to help other kids that were kind of in my situation, to help people who are living in poverty and show them how much education is so important, and give them the drive, give them the willpower to do well.
So do you still work in DC?
Yeah, trying to help out the kids who are growing up in the same area that I do.
Fine.
How are things today for the students growing up in the District of Columbia?
Well, only 68% of African Americans in DC graduate from high school. So my job as a social worker is to rise that percentage up. So that's my goal.
Are you happy with that percentage?
Honestly, I'm not. I like to see it rise up in the next few years.
How much? What do you say would be a good percentage?
In my opinion, the ideal percentages are 80%, so I like for that to be the case for us.
What's the current status of color equality at Brown?
Well, 13.7% of African Americans who apply to Brown get accepted, and 22% of the Brown's population are African Americans.
Are there any situations today relating to the inequalities in public schools?
Well, yeah. For example, Michelle and Barack Obama, they are role models of today. they show other African Americans, other Black people, how just because you're the color of your skin doesn't mean you can't be successful in life. How because Barack Obama wasn't rich, he grew up in bad places, but he's the president now, right?
He's an inspiration.
So he shows people that anything's possible.
Wow, what a compelling story. Really inspiring, Cedric.
Not only are the Obamas an inspiration to blacks all around the world, so is Cedric.
I think African Americans should have the same treatment to succeed in school.
Okay, I think Cedric is currently using his past experiences for good as being a social worker, but I think he could also go around to schools to influence black students to succeed as he did.
I think states should work on providing equal opportunities to all students.
I feel like students should be more cheered on rather than criticized for doing well in school, like Cedric was.
And I feel like that education should be equal around anywhere, no matter where you come from or the color of your skin.
A hope in the unseen.